Hey, this is Frank Yosa, CEO of Keto. I'm here on a riverbank. Thought it'd be a nice place to do a video. Today I'm going to talk about fruit being the devil and the 5 foods that I recommend that you try to avoid if you can't do a ketogenic diet. Maybe at least you can, dip your toe into this. And those 5 things are: number 1, fruit. We'll go into that in detail. Number 2, rice, bread, pasta, and number 5, fruit. Fruit is that important. Fruit is where I have my half an hour fights with people. So now I can actually just send them the video and be like, instead of explaining this to you for half an hour, here, go take a video. I get that fruit can be healthy. I get that you can just eat fruit and be super healthy. I get that you can have a vegan diet that's super fruit intensive. But if you're trying to limit your blood glucose spikes, fruit will not help that. Now, people love to say, well, what about berries and strawberries? Well, we'll get to that. Fruit will raise your blood glucose levels similar to rice, corn, pasta, all these other things that you might have started to hear, oh, those are bad too. Well, having pineapple will raise your blood sugar the same way. But then people say, well, what about the antioxidants in fruit? Well, if I told you that cocaine had vitamin C in it, is that suddenly going to make cocaine healthy? No, it doesn't. So that antioxidants, you can get antioxidants other way. Cocoa powder. I don't have any of the list offhand, but you can get antioxidants other ways. Spinach. But fruit will raise blood glucose. It tastes good. It tastes sweet. It's addictive. Sugar is more addictive, at least to mice, than cocaine. So I get that you have that sugar addiction. You can try to replace it with all natural sweeteners, monk fruit, stevia. Some people hate stevia. Erythritol, sugar alcohol. But even those things, you want to try to, if at all possible, make it half as sweet as you're normally used to. Just start weaning off of those, just the general concept of sweet. But back to fruit. People will say, well, first of all, when people get pregnant, I've heard this from doctors that they tend to get overweight, meaning above the weight that they should be when they're pregnant. And the doctor says the number 1 reason for that is fruit. So the expecting mother decides to not eat cereal anymore, doesn't want to eat junk food, and suddenly just loads up on fruit. And what does that do? It makes them gain weight. Oh, but it's fruit, it's all natural. Yeah, doesn't. Oh, it's organic. How about if it's organic? If it's organic, that doesn't change anything. So fruit will raise your blood sugar. So then people say, oh, well, what about berries and strawberries? Yeah, sure. If you're already keto and you're already having success with whatever you're trying to do, and you want to throw some berries into a smoothie that already has a bunch of fat and a little bit of protein, then yeah, I guess you can do that. But the problem there is when you start making these exceptions with the berries and the strawberries, because this one blog post said these are on the okay list. What ends up happening is you end up ignoring all the other things on the okay list, and you just eat those sugary things. You just eat those blueberries and strawberries. So I think it's better just to, willpower is easier when there's no temptation. Just remove the temptation and just cut fruit out. Now, I don't count lemons. I don't count frozen acai for acai bowls. If you want that purple look, great. Those don't count. But all the other ones with the strawberries, they're sweet. You're eating them because you're getting that sweet sensation in your mouth. So fruit, rice. If you want to eat rice, try cauliflowered rice at Trader Joe's. There's a lot of vegetable rices that are coming out. They call them rice because they look and have the texture of rice. But people say, well, what about brown rice? What about quinoa? They still spike the blood glucose. Yes, brown rice might be better than white rice, but that's just like cocaine versus crack. It just doesn't, they're still going to do harm. Pasta. If you're going to do pasta, there are some bean pastas and chickpea pastas that are out there. You can gravitate towards that. It's still the same amount of carbs, or maybe a little bit less carbs, but it's a slower carb, so you don't get the spike that you get with the regular flour. So there is a Asian market black bean pasta that our family eat, and I put a bunch of coconut oil on that, and I keep the portion small, because I've been vegan keto for about 3 years. Bread. There are some, keto pancakes, and I'll add an extra tablespoon of coconut oil or 2 if I can to the recipe to just increase the ratios. I try to avoid them because then it gives me that bread craving. So it's best if you can just get rid of it. doing, rice wraps if you do hamburgers, vegan burgers, doing lettuce wraps to hold the sandwich. And here's a tip: when I go to restaurants, I just go straight to the side menu. So vegan keto is even harder, but I just go straight to the side menus. I don't look at salads. Rarely is any salad a real salad. Usually just iceberg lettuce, a bunch of junk. I go straight to the sides. It'll be like steamed broccoli, seared asparagus, and I just make a meal of that. And I either bring my own liquid coconut oil, Carrington Farms, super cheap, organic, $8 a pound, liquid coconut oil. I'll bring a little flask of that, or I'll ask them for olive oil, and I make my own 3-side sampler. And the server recently was like, wow, that looks really good. That's how I eat. But back to the fruit being the sin. Yeah, well, what about apples? What about Granny Smith apples? Yeah, sure, it's all spectrum. That's better than the other apples. It has more fiber, sure, but what about just not having apples? What about having more avocados? Well, yeah, I'm getting sick of avocados. Okay, more nuts, different types of nuts, making fat bombs. Just the number of things that you can eat on a ketogenic diet are endless if you look for them. Tons of cookbooks out there. I don't tend to use cookbooks. Smoothies are a great way to just get in a massive amount of calories and nutrition, and squirting in coconut oil in there. And yeah, but fruit is the devil. Fruit, people are like, oh, it's so pretty. Well, Adam and Eve, it didn't work out so well for them. Just because it's pretty and shiny doesn't make it good. There are many poisonous bugs out there that are pretty and shiny that are the most poisonous. So there you go. There's my rant on fruit. So now I can save a lot of time and just send this link. Fruit is the devil, if that's what you want it to do, is keep your blood sugar stable. All right, ciao.